Alright, guys. Uh, this is pretty much like an update to the other video that was an update. So, as you all know, I had to take some time off streaming. This is for my health. It was essentially a case of I was exhausted all the time, and it really was getting quite bad. Now, naturally, I've finally been seen by the NHS. It took a very long time, but we eventually got there. Now, I'm just going to explain a little bit about what actually happened. So, essentially, for many years, I've just felt like shite. Now, this was always put down to my diet. I ate a lot of crap. I drank a lot of shit. I wasn't a healthy person. You know, so naturally, every time I would talk to someone about it, they would always just go, "It's probably just diabetes," and see if it gets any worse, blah blah blah. But that's why, it's nothing. It's obviously everything to do with your diet. Went to the doctor, explained the symptoms to him and stuff like that. He says it's actually not diabetes. Your blood sugar's fine. So that was a big fuck you to them. But naturally, he took a few bloods and he said certain levels of hormones are not looking right. Like, for example, you're spiking in some areas and you've got too low on the other. Now, this is also why the NHS put me down as non-critical. See, my grandfather, who died in 2008, he died because of a brain tumor, and we had very similar symptoms. Fatigue was the main one. Uh, Headaches, of which we only got some, but it was enough, obviously, for my granddad to go and get checked and diagnosed with one. Now, don't get me wrong. I guess it's human nature to think of the worst. You always assume the worst, even if it's necessarily not. I didn't really think I had one, but it was obviously in the back of my mind. And naturally, who would ever want it? However, went to the doctors. They took more bloods. They checked my glands. They checked everything, and they diagnosed me with basically a severely. This is the actual words he used. A severely low thyroid. Now, I mean, I don't know what the thyroid really does. I'm not looking into it, but essentially, my hormones are just all over the place or too low. So, for example, he said I've got too much testosterone, which that makes me feel like a man. But in other areas, like the reason you're so just exhausted constantly, and the way to explain this, like how exhausted I feel, I don't mean just like, oh, I'm a little bit tired. Do you know when you wake up and you feel like groggy? There's that like little period of time. For some, it's obviously shorter than others, where you just feel dopey, and I felt like that practically all the time. That was the level of exhaustion I had. Now I've been obviously diagnosed. It's all fine. The I've got to do a blood test in like 5 weeks to see if it's working, and then they'll probably up my dosage of levothyroxine or whatever else they're going to give us. They might decide to give us something else. But anyway, for those that were actually worried about my health and stuff, I'm okay. Naturally, I'm still a bit tired, but there definitely has been an improvement with the levothyroxine that I've been given. It's not like a miracle cure. I think you've got to be given a certain amount before it really starts to work. But like some people are higher dosage than others. So for me personally, it's been, I'd say the first few days there was like noticeable, and then it started to wear off. That apparently, and kind of weirdly, the doctors keep on mentioning my weight. Right now, I am 14 stone, and apparently for my BMI, it's too high. Now I should know it. I'm not big, but for whatever reason, like I mean, everyone who I've spoken to about it said the BMI is a load of shit anyway. But apparently my obesity causes insulin resistance. So that means I've got to have something else later on. He didn't tell us what. But I've got to get something else checked in the hopes that that can be sorted. I've obviously got to start going to the gym again, which I always used to do. But either way, that's that side. So yeah, if you were ever wondering about my health, because obviously I've not been on stream enough to say anything. Now, as for streaming, this is kind of where the difficulty starts. To me personally, right, I don't know whether I want to stream BF1. A small part of me doesn't. Like, really doesn't. But I feel like if I've got to change streaming, I've got to start again. Because practically everybody that follows me on Twitch follows me for BF1. That's just a fact, right? And there'll obviously be people who follow us no matter what, right? And that is appreciated. I love you. But there's obviously people who will only watch and follow for BF1. And that's fine, you know. It's your choice. It's Twitch. It's a free life. Free market. So what I'm debating doing is either making a brand new channel and starting all over again, or going on like some Twitch follower app and removing all but the select few, I guess, and just sort of starting with a few people instead. The reality is, I mean, I've played BF1 for 7 years, and it's like I've done clan wars, I've done events, you know, all the work that entails. I've admin for God knows how long. And it's not that I want to quit BF1. I don't want to quit BF1. It's just streaming it is a different subject. I love VG, and I will continue to be part of VG for as long as the game permits until it eventually dies. However long that may take, you know, hopefully it's a really long time. But streaming wise, I don't know whether it's easier to just move on to a game which I could kind of make work. Like Age of Empires 2 is the main one at the minute. Just, I'm not any good. It's just because it's more fun. And BF1 is, I still enjoy it. I still play it. You know, I did this without you guys knowing, but I 100 starred the improvised grenade. Ladies, form an orderly queue. But at the same time, it's like, do you know what I mean? I don't know really what I want to do, whether or not I want to stream BF1 sort of intermittently, or just cut it out altogether. Do Halo Infinite or Halo MCC, or I don't really want to try 2042 because that game still looks and plays like absolute shite. I don't care what DICE have really done to improve it; it's still cringe. You know, the simple fact that we've got McKay and loads of specialists in. No thanks. And the gunplay looks like shit as well. But you know what I mean? It's difficult to tell what I really want to do. I think I'll definitely still cast some Clan Wars. You know, if Lone Wolves or AMG or whatever still do them, I'm happy to do that because I'm not doing any more Clan Wars. The too much of a pain in the arse to organise. But I mean, I'm happy to cast them, but at the same time, it's like, do I want to continue streaming this game? And I don't know. Put simply, I'm not asked about the viewer count. I do it for fun. But if you guys have got any suggestions, I mean, feel free to let us know down in the comments. Other than that, love you and leave you.